Hey everybody. So in this situation, I'm actually a little more confident that I can get 2 trick stabs rather than shooting them in the head twice. And here, well, it just seems like the easy thing to do. You always want to think practically. Think of the one way out and the second way out, and think about which one's more likely for you to perform. First, I'm going to try to see if I can get a stab off here. It's the easiest thing to do. But he spots me, and I know what I've got to do. 2 headshots is the only way out. The Ambassador is a wonderful tool. You can get just as many kills with it as you can with the knife if your aim gets to be good enough. And that just takes some practice. Of course, having a high frame rate and right mouse settings, which I'll put in the description, really helps out a lot too, but in the end it's just a matter of practice. Go to wide open maps where you can get a lot of gun use in. Just force yourself to only use your gun as your weapon. Never use your knife. That'll improve your aim over time. So this is a Highlander game. Like I said, I'm using my gun a whole lot, but for that demo I go ahead and go for the stab because I see it's open. It's always a judgment call which weapon to use. Of course I'm going to go for the pyro with my gun here. It's a little too far for the knife, I can't throw it unfortunately. And again, just using my Ambassador until I get behind them, very aggressively, seeing what I can do with headshots. That's one reason I really enjoyed the Ambassador over the revolver, is you can get a lot of work done from a distance. Not as great for self-protection, but really a wonderful tool for ranged picks, or an open to with any other item. Now here, of course, I'm going to go for the medic, use the primary target in Highlander, and I whip it, and now I'm just going to play it safe. I could kill him faster with my gun, it does a little more damage up close, but the knife has a bigger hitbox, and I just go with the more reliable thing to do. And here I'm predicting the demo's going to continue turning to his left, but he doesn't, and I have to use a desperation move. Don't give up if the trick stab doesn't work at first. Do what you gotta do. Right here I'm in a nice little hiding spot, using the Ambassador's great ranged ability. That dispenser saves him from that body shot. I'm going to keep on him, and it's very important. Never let him go if you do, unless you have to. And it's always worth dying for it. But fortunately I've got a dead ring, and I don't have to in this situation. Oops. So the dead ringer really allows for extreme aggression and really speedy play. You always want to be on the move with this watch. Unlike like the Cloak and Dagger or the IW, you don't have to spend a lot of time getting into position. And you can just be very aggressive, get up in a soldier's face, and pow. Can't wait for this health pack to come back. 20 health isn't quite enough. It's okay to slow down just for ensuring that you don't die, obviously. This engineer is at 50 health, so 2 body shots or 1 headshot will do it, and I decided to go for body shots just because that's a little more reliable. And that was a nice little drop, kind of corner stab on the heavy. It didn't look like the combo saw me, so I just went for the easy drop. These guys are nice and distracted by this engineer, just kind of an odd place for him to be at the moment. I go ahead and take advantage of that. Now I'm just hanging around. This spot right here, right in the middle of Lakeside, is really great for just hanging out for a stab. But again, I'm trying to keep active, see what I can do. I'm using the dead ringer, so yeah, I can take some risks like that. Just be very aggressive. And here I'm wasting a little too much time, but this is a Highlander match, and I do want to stay alive and maintain my positioning. When you're deciding whether or not to be aggressive to the point of dying or be aggressive to the point of just staying alive, you really want to consider how good your positioning is and how much more likely it'll be that you'll get a kill if you stay alive. There, it turned out to be the right decision to go ahead and slow down for a moment and make sure I stayed up. Now I want to get behind the combo. They're going to be holding choke here, and this is a very difficult point for your team to get through. One pick can be what your team needs just to get through this really difficult choke point. Here I'm disguised as a pyro with his shotgun out. Notice I backpedal right out of there, looking like I'm focusing on an enemy. And I don't try to run behind the combo. I notice that they buy this guy, so I just hang around in front of them so they continue to believe it. And then I wait for distraction before I back out and go for the stab. Kind of acting 101. You don't always want to run right behind them and just count on this guy's working the whole time. You might buy it, but usually that'll just be for a couple seconds unless you really lay the acting on thick. You also want to keep track of what your enemy's habits are. I know that the Pyro on this team likes to camp that spot with the shotgun out, so I just do that. And it looks nice and realistic to his team, and they don't even bother checking me, because that's kind of a weird thing for a spy that's trying to get behind you to do. Just run in there and hang around in front of them. Yeah, it's just a matter of good strafing. A lot of players have trouble tracking you when you're strafing back and forth, and you can open them up to a backstab by just moving properly. Now you notice I'm using my gun very heavily before I cross the line here. Now that I'm across, I'm going to use my knife, but this is a pub, so I'm going to do it in a way that I find a little more fun than just camping the shutter like that. Notice here I'm actually standing right where they're going to be looking as an engineer, someone that can be kind of hanging around this spot. But really what I'm doing here doesn't have to do with tricking them, it just has to do with moving faster than them and getting the jump on them. Eventually they'll learn, but let's see how long we can keep doing this. That's 2. And now they're catching on. But maybe they'll run out anyways. No. Alright, let's keep doing this. I mean, this is really what you want to do in pubs. See how far you can push things. Bring things to an extreme. If things get too easy, you're doing it wrong. So just make life hard for yourself and harder on your opponents, hopefully. Waiting. Oh, that looked pretty good, but you've always got a second chance with the dead ring. And there it is. Thanks for coming out, guys. I missed you. Take care.